Throw down to second in time. The last two possessions. What a pass. What a pass.
Looks in. The runner comes home. They got him. Up top.
Welcome to this week's Big 12 Report presented by Dr. Pepper. I'm Wendell Barnhouse, Big12Sports.com correspondent alongside co-host Carter Babb.
Thanks, Wendell. Over the last several weeks, Commissioner Bob Bowlsby has been in the process of visiting schools from around the conference. This week, we take a look at his trip to Iowa State and how it was an extra special trip home.
Big 12 Commissioner Bob Bowlsby is in the process of visiting all 10 conference campuses as he acclimates himself to his new job. The first visit for Bowlsby, an Iowa native, was special as Iowa State rolled out the red carpet.
Bob, welcome home. I mean, you're a Waterloo native. You've been in this state for many of the years of your life.
The last time that many Iowa State fans stood up for me, they were chasing me. I was a little worried about Iowa State. You know, I've had some real bad experiences in Ames over the years, and I was at Iowa for a long time, and so I wasn't quite sure what to expect. But Jamie Pollard has been very welcoming, his staff has as well, and everybody tonight has been very gracious. And I have to admit to feeling a little like I'm in the enemy camp, but I'm excited about the future, and I'm really excited about what Iowa State is doing.
You know, obviously when he was at Iowa, he was on the other side, but he built a great reputation in our state. And these fans, the one thing about Iowa State fans is they're very knowledgeable people. They know people who are good at what they do, who have a vision for the future, and I think they're really, really excited about having Mr. Bowlsby back in our state. It's something special that our state can be proud of, that he's from Iowa and he's the commissioner of the Big 12.
The tour they gave me today was very impressive. They're doing great things with their facilities. They've got some terrific coaches and staff members, and they're going to do some big things in the league going forward. There's a lot of people that are engaged in the worthy process of producing athletes on each of these campuses, and I want to know as much about what they're doing as I possibly can. I love seeing the facilities and seeing how they're going about trying to produce their teams.
The Big 12 hit a grand slam. If you talk about a home run, we hit a grand slam. Mr. Bowlsby is one of the most respected people in the industry, and knowing him from the University of Iowa and what he did at Stanford, he understands not just the big picture, but he understands the smaller picture of being on a college campus. He knows what the athletes, the coaches do. The presentation he gave today at the staff meeting was exactly what everyone needed to hear, and we're very excited, very lucky, and I think he's someone that has the vision for our conference. And with TCU and West Virginia coming in now, it's an exciting time, and we're certainly glad that Iowa State's a part of it, and the leadership and Mr. Bowlsby, I think, is going to take us to some really exciting things.
Well, it looks like the Cyclones really enjoyed the commissioner making a special trip back to his home state. That looked like a lot of fun. All right, let's get to some of the featured games coming up this weekend. What's on tap for us, Wendell?
Well, Carter, Texas is ranked number 12, and they're going to try to start 3-0 for the 6th straight season when they travel to Oxford to face Ole Miss. Sophomore quarterback David Ash has been solid, and both he and the Longhorns defense figure to face a difficult task in this primetime road game. Ole Miss runs a fast-paced attack and is 9th nationally in the country, averaging 283 yards per game. And TCU starts its Big 12 conference play at Kansas. The Frogs are ranked number 15, and they'll try to follow up an opening season victory against Grambling State with another victory. The Horned Frogs set an NCAA record by completing all 17 of their passes against Grambling State. Two of the Jayhawks' last 3 games in Memorial Stadium have been 1-point losses, and Kansas has lost 22 of its last 25 Big 12 games. Now here's a look at the 8-game schedule for Saturday. 2 games to keep an eye on: the James Madison West Virginia game and the Sam Houston State Baylor game feature 2 of the top 4 teams in FCS or Division I AA facing the Big 12 teams. Now, we mentioned that TCU is starting their Big 12 conference play at Kansas Saturday. This last Saturday, before the Grambling State game, I got a chance to talk with Dan Jenkins, a legendary Fort Worth sportswriter who is an alum, a fan, and an observer of TCU football. I got a chance to talk to Dan about what he thinks about TCU joining the Big 12.
It's huge. I mean, it's really big for TCU, and I don't know how we're going to do. I think we'll do okay, but I don't think, I think we're through with our 9-2 and 10-1 seasons. But I'd be happy for 8-4, 7-5. I'd take it right now if we can do it.
Not only is TCU excited about its new conference home, it's also proud of the new home for the Horned Frogs. Amon Carter Stadium underwent a $164 million makeover that turned an old stadium into a shiny new showcase.
When you look around at all this thing and how wonderful it is and how surprisingly wonderful it is, you can only think, man, we got a whole lot more winning to do, I hope. I never thought I'd see anything like this place. Of course, I never thought I'd ever see us in the Rose Bowl either. But and that was a happy moment. But this is just astounding. I mean, the people who did it have a lot to be proud of. And you know what Judge would say if he saw this? He'd say it's okay, but there's nowhere to spit.
It's too nice.
Too nice.
You know, Dan has been around Fort Worth a long, long time, and I think it's great that he finally gets to enjoy the success of TCU after all it's taken to get there. All right, last but certainly not least, let's get to this week's shout-outs. What stood out in the Big 12 world of sports, Wendell?
Well, last Friday night, Oklahoma's soccer team stunned third-ranked Oklahoma State in front of a record crowd in Norman, a 1-0 shutout. It was the first victory for Oklahoma in Bedlam since 2005. And Baylor's soccer team is off to a 6-1-1 start for the third consecutive season. The Bears played a scoreless tie at North Texas last Friday and then defeated UT San Antonio 4-0 Sunday. Baylor has shutouts in 6 of its 8 matches this season. And in volleyball, Kansas State's 9-0 start is the best in school history. Wildcats started playing a tournament in Tulsa Thursday and were scheduled to face their first ranked teams on Friday and Saturday. And the night before Iowa State knocked off Iowa in football, the 18th-ranked Cyclones volleyball team defeated their in-state rivals with a 5-set victory in the Cy-Hawk Challenge. And Texas bounced back after having its 33-match winning streak in Gregory Gym ended by Minnesota with a 4-set victory over the Gophers. Now in the national rankings, Texas is number 6, Kansas State is up to number 19, and Iowa State is number 25. And last week, the Big 12 announced a long-awaited television agreement with ABC, ESPN, and Fox Media Group. The 13-year deal will not only help Big 12 schools more than double the revenue they currently share, but also cements the stability of the conference. In addition to the TV agreement, the 10-member schools have agreed to a grant of media rights for the next 13 years. That basically locks in each school through 2025. So that means 13 more years of the Big 12 report.
Oh yeah, lots of Big 12 to come. All right, well that's going to do it for this week's Big 12 report. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at Big 12 Conference for all the latest scores, news, and highlights from around the league. And visit our website at big12sports.com. We'll see you next week.
The Horned Frogs
Pants on the ground.
has lost 22 of its last 25 Big 12 games. Sorry.
Wow. They are really bad. Did you think that was it?
Yeah.
I was like, why did I get it? Tough crowd around here.